continue again. In all these nations, it wasn't, even in America, it's just now that they're beginning to have a turnaround because of the taxes that were cut down. Right. So it's not like in Nigeria, the government like came out with, the policies that they came out with are things that will help local companies. That is, the policies that this administration came in is for, I'm going to look at it like a Nigeria first policy. So
I'd like you to take a look at this report, because this is another report which was done. The NBC was also involved in this report. It was talking about the fight against corruption, how public servants are involved in this one. So take a look at this, and let's get your response. Okay, we don't have that yet. It was speaking about the amount of money that has exchanged hands, but it did pick holes how public servants are responding to the fight against corruption. So let me ask you, because that's another very strong mantra of this government. Do you think that in the public sector, that fight is going on well?
I mean, from, the best way to look at a lot of things is that the wheel of progress kind of sometimes grinds slow. But those are the, those are the promises that the president ran on. He ran on, security, providing security. He ran on economic recovery, and he ran on, anti-corruption. And he's been doing just that. I guess, it dovetails into maybe some appointments that were made. Because when he came in, the burden of responsibility was so much. He kind of, had a single net of purpose with such burden and with the economics that he met in. When he got into office, I think dollar was exchanging for about 180 naira as at that time. It was 300, but you have to look, where were we coming from? What did
you just said it?
No. I
just said
I said where did it move to get to 180? Where did it come from to 180?
No.
But we.
Wait. I need to understand. What why don't you? If there's a challenge which they've not been able to overcome, there's nothing wrong in accepting that and saying,
I just said
where
we're coming from.
Where we made a mistake.
Where we're coming from.
You said it's 180.
180. And now it's 360.
And you still say that's good enough?
And I've laid the foundation for it.
For it being good enough?
No, it's not being good enough. We are getting better. We are getting better. We're getting better. It took a dip. Taking a dip, when an economy takes a dip, it didn't, once you understand, or once we are all on the same page that this Nigeria it wasn't like Nigeria was isolated and all this economic downfall happened alone in Nigeria, then we can look at it from, it wasn't just Nigeria. It wasn't like it happened because President Buhari came into power. It happened at every place. 2008, that's when I moved back to Nigeria. 2008, there was a global recession. No country was immune. It wasn't like oil producing nation anywhere. Everywhere, people that had their money in stock exchange in Nigeria, everybody lost everything. And the same thing that was happening in Nigeria was happening in America. Okay, it's a good thing to quote America. Nigeria, we're saying 85 million jobs lost. Look at how many people lost their job in America last year. No, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to tell you, use it to point out that it's a global recession, for God's sake. It's a global recession. So it's not like what the president did or what the president did not do. It's just that these are how the economic forces move.
Are you aware? Global recession, global recession happened in 2008, 2009.
And 2015, 2014, 15, yeah.
Global recession.
Yeah.
Where did you get that figure?
What do you mean, the data are there. It wasn't like just Nigeria.
But you're not questioning the data
now? No. When oil, which fuels the whole world, moves from over $100 to $30, every oil company cut down their staff by over 60%. In America, because, I happen to go back and forth, my job with a multinational oil company, I just quit my job the other day. I go back and forth. Apart from reading the news, you go there, you go to Houston, and you see your friends. In Houston alone, over 70,000 people lost their job in one day. People were losing their job, and it wasn't just America.
In other words,
I think even in Nigeria, we have a because of the union.
What does that mean? In other words, we should say, well, job losses here, no big deal because people lost their jobs in America?
It's a big deal because it affects people. The people that lose their job are people that put food on the table for their own family and people that depend on them. It's a big deal. But when we understand what's going on, we can begin to understand this is how this recovery process can help the situation. Once you go down the hole,
so in your
recovering, it's not going to be like when you're recovering, you're jumping out.
In your assessment, would you say that the economy is better off today than it was in the previous administration?
If President Buhari...
No,
that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying, if President Buhari did not put the measures he put in place, it would have been a worse situation.
No, the measures he put in place, if I remember, made the exchange rate go higher. It made, at some point, it was over 500 naira to $1. Before we're settling between somewhere around $350, $370 now. So would you say that that has indeed been an improvement for the people of this country?
I mean, we keep dancing around this issue because I keep giving you the same response. I mean, we look at where we are, what we are doing. We look at what has happened. We look at, we had so and so economy, and this is where we are. We look at the situation.
All right, we have to go. I'm afraid that half hour can go for this segment. So I appreciate your comment on this morning. Chidolue is a member of the APC. We'll be back in a moment. Join us again.